You're live. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Let us know. We have a different setup in a different location.
Yes, and if the microphone gets like all scratchy,
please let us know.
Because we've had that issue. We're using some ointment, but it's still sometimes a little scratchy.
Thought it was itchy.
And scratchy. That's The Simpsons.
We have people on here already?
Stacy's on here. Hello, Stacy. And
the Gaylors?
Yep. And we got an email from Stacy.
We do. Oh,
Gina.
I should pull emails up, shouldn't I?
Yes, because we're using my phone as a camera. Obviously, we have a slightly different backdrop. Actually, what we did is we moved the entire studio to the Midwest. So
we picked up and moved.
Just for this episode, though. Well, and next week we'll be coming to you from an undisclosed location in Missouri.
Because we don't know what the location is.
It won't actually be the regular podcast. It'll be the Helping Hands for Cruising charity thing.
Hey, Adam.
Broadcast. Hey, Adam.
Yes, it is snow. We are in the snowy north of Indiana.
That's snow? I thought it was really cold white sand.
I wish it was.
I was going to say, Indiana, your sand sucks. It's like freezing cold and it's wet.
Oh, hey, also, this is my friend Ashley. For those of you that are like, who's this random person?
Just random. Maybe that's what Adam meant. Is that Snow?
Oh, yeah.
Her name's not Snow.
No, not Snow here.
It's not Ashley Snow either.
No.
Although.
It's close.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan. He was able to join us before work. Hello from Texas.
Facebook
user. Whoever's on Facebook who's from Texas.
If you want us to know, you can tell us, or you can hit the little thing. It'll show you who you are.
Yeah.
Or you can stay anonymous.
That's cool.
As long as you're polite, we don't care. So.
Stacy says hi to you.
Hi, Stacy.
Stacy, we have an email from you that we're going to read.
He and Gina just got off a cruise.
Oh, JB Fletcher, that's who Facebook user is.
And, hey, JB.
Adam said, outside the window, if that white stuff. Yes, outside the window is snow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's cold.
It is very cold. We made mistakes by coming here in February.
Let me know
if
I should throw snowballs at Kimbra later on today.
No. That is not part of this.
Like a snowman.
Dan says hello.
Todd's in there.
You
hey,
are welcome
Todd.
to read this.
Yep.
Todd says hello from warm Cerritos, California. Because he's from like Wisconsin. He did this weird picture thing where he spun around and it was started in the snow and then he was by like a swimming pool behind him.
I didn't see that.
It was clever. Going to the swap meet in Long Beach. Oh, cool. Long Beach Aquarium. Board the Navigator of the Seas on Monday.
Nice.
Yes. Hey, we got Kevin Counts in here. Maybe we should do our podcast on Sunday.
Lunchtime.
Yeah. Because
this is like the time for all the people.
Right?
This is fun. Actually, I bet they just came on to see Ashley.
Probably. Kevin Counts, Bombini, and Guten Morgen from sunny Southern California. We got all the California people. Well, I mean, Todd's in California. He's not a California person.
What time is it?
He grew up in California.
What's 3 hours before now?
3 hours.
10, 9, 8. It's 8:30.
You know who we probably won't see are any of our Australian friends because it's like.
It's real early, or it's like nighttime there.
Yes.
Right?
You never know though because
12.
Sean could show up at any point.
4 a.m. there.
Gina's on there too. I mean, we figured.
Yeah.
Zoomy, our new dog, can't figure out where the snowballs go after you throw them. Nice.
Disappeared.
Nice.
Huh.
All right. It's about that time.
It's time. So,
I'm hitting.
For those of you that don't normally join us, or those of you that do and just want to hear it again, the way that this works is we're going to start the podcast right after I finish saying this. We will communicate some with the chat in this, but really we're here to talk about cruising with Ashley. And Ashley's husband Josh is here as well. You can't see him. He's chosen to be off camera. But if you want to throw anything in, feel free to do so. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go approximately an hour. And we might chat a little bit after, but we do have family coming over. So if there's random noise in the background, it's because random people start walking in.
That means they're early.
Yes, that means they're early.
And they don't know this is happening. So they come in.
Gina says hi, Josh. Mallory's here, and probably Andrew.
Hey, Mallory and Andrew.
All right.
Also from Wisconsin.
Yes. Are we ready for this?
Ready?
Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Let's do this. When I find it.
Come with me, we're going on a Fintastic cruise. Pick your destination with news, tips, and reviews. But here is an item you might not have thought of. All of the things under the water. Nature surrounds us with elegant features. You can't go on a cruise and not see the creatures. So let's make some magic, let's get ecstatic. Instantly classic, maybe romantic. The wildlife around you, cinematic on your Fintastic cruise.
Bon Beanie, technical difficulties and salutations. Welcome to the Fintastic Cruising Podcast. My name is Matt.
I'm Kimbra.
And we have a special guest, Ashley, with us. Really, we came to Ashley. We've traveled all the way to Terre Haute, Indiana, just to.
We wanted Ashley on
Ashley on
here
the
so
podcast.
much.
She doesn't know how to use Zoom, so that's not true. It's not true.
We're like, well, Ashley, I guess if you can't use Zoom, actually, we don't use Zoom.
No.
We use StreamYard. She doesn't know
That's
how to
true.
use technology
I don't
and
know.
computers. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know
None
what
of
I'm
that's
talking
true.
about. No, she's savvy with the electronics.
We
But
are coming to you from Terre Haute, Indiana, which is where I'm from, and my wonderful friend Ashley, who has cruised a couple times, which we will hear all about, has decided that she wanted to be on the podcast. More like I said, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? We're like, I guess. So here we are.
Can't say no to Kimbra.
all right, so today we have a couple emails before we get into the thick of it,
Yeah.
and we're going to go over those. Also, let me just I got the Sean from Australia haircut back finally, and let me just show you this though, because our friends Lovey's Fat Life sent us this cool thing. Is that in focus?
No.
No.
Ashley, cover your face.
Don't take that
Yeah.
personally,
You're
Ashley.
good. Yeah,
It's
it's
just
in
facial
focus.
recognition. We got this cool little hat pin here, so thank you, Mike Lovelace, for that.
That's how we have to do things here. When we want to show, we like this.
Right? It's weird. It's awkward, but it works. All right. So we want to get into those emails.
Yeah.
We got Stacy and Gina here in the chat too. So if we miss anything up,
Some nice
with your
long
email.
emails. You gonna throw those pictures up as I
will.
talk about them?
I will do that.
So our first email is from Stacy, and Stacy and Gina just came off of a back-to-back cruise, and this email is kind of all about it. So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hi, Matt. Nope, that's not what it says. It says, hi, Kimbra, Matt, and all the creatures. Gina and I just wanted to touch base and say hello after getting back from our back-to-back cruise on the Carnival Freedom on January 15th and 23rd. We wanted to tell you a little bit about it, and it's hard to share much information during the podcast chat. He said you don't have to read this email, but I'm doing it anyways, obviously. Just wanted to share with you our rather eventful cruise. We went down to Florida early in the morning on January 10th and had 5 days in Fort Lauderdale before the cruise. We used the car rental app called Turo, T-U-R-O, for our rental car. It worked great and saved us money over a typical car rental place.
So there's a tip. T-U-R-O. Oh, and Kimbra's mom just popped around the corner and said they've done that as well. So there you
It says
go.
Turo is an app like Airbnb or Vrbo, which allows people to rent out their cars, and said we'll definitely use that again in the future.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I've never heard of it. So the ports for this cruise were Half Moon Cay, Grand Turk, Aruba, and Bonaire.
Wow, that's like I can't think of the word, but an amazing list of ports.
Yeah, so that was the first leg, which was 8 days.
Those are
and
all
then
stellar.
the second leg was Princess Key. Key.
Let's just make it official.
I think it's K. I mean, it's spelled K.
And I'm going to start calling it the Florida Keys.
No, but that one's spelled Key.
That's true. Okay.
So it's the Florida Keys, and then everything else is a K.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
The second legs were Princess Cay, Grand Turk, and Amber Cove, DR. Embarkation day was quick and easy. Our first hiccup happened during the first night. Apparently, a crew member had a medical emergency, not COVID related, and we had to divert to Freeport, Bahamas at midnight on the first night. This caused a delay and made us miss our first port, Half Moon Cay. We were disappointed but understood and hoped the crew member is doing well. Carnival refunded our port fees and taxes and gave everyone a $50 onboard credit.
Okay. That'll
That's
get you
cool.
through.
We arrived at Grand Turk a little earlier than expected, which was nice. We had a sea day between Grand Turk and Aruba. While we were eating at the Lido buffet, we spotted a whale out the window.
Why is everybody seeing whales?
I don't know.
Right
I've
now?
heard that a lot recently.
There's been, and it's been like
That would be cool.
cool whale, like
Yeah.
sperm whales and stuff like that.
Well, this was someone said
Right.
it was an orca, but we didn't see enough of it to confirm. I would accept anything that is whale related.
I mean, technically, if you saw an orca, you didn't see a whale,
That's true. It's a dolphin.
but that doesn't make it any less cool.
This is my dolphin.
I thought it was the mermaids from The Sims. But
Oh, that is the mermaids, but they're like dolphins, aren't they? Don't
No.
they? Oh,
There are dolphins. Anyway, we're not talking about The Sims.
we're not talking about Sims. We haven't played Sims in a long time.
I know.
I-
Go ahead.
Okay. I managed to get a few brief seconds of video of spouts of water as it surfaced later. During the afternoon, we noticed that we were sitting still in the middle of the ocean, which of course is really unusual. Shortly after, we went to tea time where the waitress told us that we spotted a small vessel with 2 guys in it. Turns out they had been stranded out there for 4 days.
Wow.
They appeared to be okay, so they weren't allowed on board. The crew gave them food and water and contacted the DR Coast Guard. We were there until the Coast Guard sent a boat to rescue them. I've attached a photo of the small stranded boat.
I didn't put that one in the.
You didn't put
I
that
didn't
one
put
in
that
there.
one in the.
It's literally a small boat
with people in it.
with people in it. Yeah. We sat there for about 5 or 6 hours, which made us 2 hours late arriving to Aruba. They adjusted any affected excursions, so no harm done. Plus, it was great to help people, even though the whole thing seemed rather sketchy. We'll never know why they were out there or what happened. The rest of our cruise was rather uneventful. We made all of our ports and had a great time. We didn't get to do as much snorkeling as we wanted, but did do a little bit and saw some cool creatures. In Aruba, Gina saw a sea turtle.
That's cool.
That's awesome. I didn't see a sea turtle in Aruba, although we did see an octopus, which was cool.
Yes.
Let's see. In Grand Turk, I saw a really long, large fish on the edge of the swimming area.
And if you're watching right now, I have a picture of that fish up there, and Stacy was asking what type of fish it was. Correct?
Yes. Let me see. Let's see. And a cute trunkfish. I've attached a screenshot from a video I got of those two. Tell us what the big fish is if you can tell from the low quality screenshot. It's much bigger than the picture makes it appear. I don't know if you can see it, Ashley, but do you know what it is?
Well, let me show you.
Here.
I ran this through something called Dive Plus. It's a free app, and it increases the quality of underwater stuff pretty effectively with just a simple filter that it uses.
Okay.
It's not perfect, and if you don't, you can pay and get rid of the watermark. But just thought I'd show you that how cool it is. But
How about if I do this? Do you know what that is? That's the scuba sign for this fish.
No.
why would she know?
I'm just throwing it out there.
Do you know random dive signs, Ashley?
Oh,
No, I'm sorry, no.
These people can't see what I'm doing.
No, they can't because there's a big picture up there.
Yeah.
Like cutting the arm off.
Well,
Show them the dive sign for this animal.
here, let's do it this way. So if you look at the top of that fish, it's got some like kind of stripes on the top of it.
Yeah. Tiger something?
It's a barracuda.
Oh,
But it's a fair guess because you said
Okay.
striped. on
Yes,
one
that's
side.
true. I did.
Yeah.
But that's indicating those stripes on the top of
Okay.
the fish. So if I looked at Matt and saw barracuda, I would go like this
Oh.
and then point, and he would be like, "Oh, look, it's a barracuda."
Here's
Got
here's the trunk fish that they saw, which is a smooth trunk fish, and there is the Dive Plus version of it there. So that's pretty cool though. Yeah, barracuda, definitely a barracuda, and what an interesting cruise you guys had.
There's one more paragraph.
Okay.
Okay, you can take that fish off.
Oh, sorry.
I need focus on me here. Just kidding. The food was great on the cruise. The crew was also awesome. We had a great time and can't wait to cruise again. We wanted to share the unusual events that happened on the first leg. Have a great day, and we can't wait to get back to the podcast live. Well, you're here, so there we are. Thank you, Stacy, for that email and telling us all about your cruise.
Yeah, glad you guys got to cruise, and even though you had some weirdness, it sounds like you had a really good cruise.
Yes.
So a cruise is back to back.
I've never done a back-to-back.
I haven't either.
That'd be awesome.
We
That-
kind of,
right?
I feel like we need to,
I would
but I
love to
don't
do
know
that.
if I can take that
Yeah.
much time off work.
I mean,
that's basically what we're doing now.
well, yeah, technically.
We could make that happen.
Yeah.
Like a long
Yeah.
and a short.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll look at that in the future.
All right. And then we have another email from Andrew.
Andrew, and I think they're in here too, right?
I saw Mallory earlier.
You know where there's Mallory, Andrew. Far behind.
Oh, I know. Do you want to read this one? Do you want to read it?
Oh,
Okay.
I'm
Then you want to read it?
No, you're doing great.
yeah, you are
All right.
doing wonderful.
I am the reading person here because I don't talk just by myself like Matt does. I have to read things. So Andrew's email says the subject is an email in 5 paragraphs.
For those of you that don't know, Andrew is famous for sending us extraordinarily long emails, but usually riddled with a lot of interesting content.
Did you put his pictures on there?
I did not put his pictures. I just
Okay.
put the fish pictures.
That's cool. All right. So Andrew's email. Here is my takes on 3 podcasts in 1 paragraph. Edit. It's actually 5 paragraphs.
Oh, Andrew's sleeping.
Oh.
Forget it then. Don't read his email. No, I'm just
Oh.
kidding.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
He'll just have to
He had
listen
a
to it
fun
later.
late night. Andrew had a fun late night.
Without you?
Wow. Or no, well, or is Mallory just a little bit more of a warrior than Andrew when it comes to fun late nights?
I can see that.
She did go on the Always Be Book.
I was going to say, Andrew's
good
fun, but I
cruise.
feel like Mallory's got that. All right. How did our cruise get ruined? Almost. Missing Bonaire and Aruba because COVID. 2 out of 3 ports, but they did get us to Amber Cove. I've traveled a lot and sometimes there are changes. You have to roll with the punches. That's not the first or last itinerary change we'll make, but so far it's the most disappointing. The things that COVID has changed, but maybe temporarily, but hopefully not, is no smoking in the casino. That was the case for their whole cruise. Didn't smell it walking past it, and we actually went back in there and gave some money to Carnival. After sitting near another couple at dinner, they said that they put $2,000 of casino chips on their credit card to get card member benefits. They put some on the table, but took over 1,000 home. After they did this, they started to get free cruise offers.
Okay.
So basically, put a bunch of money on your cruise or on your
Look,
card.
gambling is an investment when you're cruising,
That's right.
apparently.
Oh, Mallory said that their friend Joe is here and they stayed up till 3.
Which is not the norm for them.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I woke up at 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not a gambler as the math doesn't make sense. So as a newly gambling member at the casino, I wanted to find the minimum amount for the offers. In the non-smoking, I lost money. Let's see. In the non-smoking, all cap. Please keep this change. Keep this way.
Because
John Hill.
Because John Hill is British, so he says instead of no smoking, I think he says non-smoking. I think that was the point he was making.
Got it. Okay. I lost money, but not as much as a cruise price, and got some free cruise offers to make up for it.
Just like already? You already got free cruise offers from...
Maybe we need to try this thing.
I don't know. I want to see more other people experimenting with
Yeah.
that before I spend a bunch of money in the casino.
Yeah. So now we're going to have to cruise with Carnival again. Oh, bummer.
Right.
What am I doing?
I thought the screen was dimming. Go ahead.
Oh,
Carry on.
okay. So it's kind of a free cruise for a crappy cruise. Yeah, customer retention and poor maths. Oh, that's UK or Australian English.
Yes. Maths.
I got it.
Yes.
I understand. So maybe the best thing for us in COVID cruising. On Antigua, we went there, and it was one of the least developed, most authentic ports we've
That's
been
cool.
to.
Yeah, I've been there.
A couple blocks from the port, there was a market selling essentials to the people living there, similar to many other places throughout the world I've been to. I've attached some photos to share. We went to a random beach bar serving cocktails with gravy, aka rum, on top.
Okay. Okay. That makes me have a whole new appreciation for gravy.
Right?
Do you want some biscuits and gravy? Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm sure you can make it work.
Unless biscuits is, something for Coke or ice cubes or something like that.
Ice cubes.
Coconut, I don't know,
Yeah.
banana.
Then we went to a floating tiki bar. Shame we might have missed sperm whales, but good times. And he attached a picture of some kind of statue thing, and
In the local market.
the local market that he talked
Yeah,
about.
that's cool.
Cool.
It's cool that they got to experience like Antigua sounds neat because I do the developed cruise ports are fine and everything and they have some cool amenities, but it is kind of neat to like get into those places and see like the culture and really feel like you're visiting that country and not just
Going to the
the
shops. that
cruise
everybody
ship's
does.
version of that country, which is
Yeah.
the same as every other country that you would visit in the Caribbean. So that's pretty cool. All right.
Cool.
Thank you for those emails. If you do have an email to send to us with fun questions, comments, complaints, if they're just send them to fintasticruising@gmail.com. If they're complaints, we'll put another email up for you guys. Just kidding. No, fintasticruising@gmail.com. And real quick, let's do the commercial.
All right. Let's do the commercial. The commercial. The Fintastic Group Cruise is going out March 12th through 19th, 2023. So that's still more than a year away for you to join us and save your money and come on that cruise, leaving out of Tampa on the Carnival Pride, going to Grand Cayman, Roatan, Belize, and Cozumel. It's going to be amazing. And we're still working on Ashley here to come on that with us. And if you're interested, send us an email at fintastictravel@gmail.com. I know we just threw 2 different emails at you. If you mix them up, I guess that's fine. I'll get them to the right places. That's what I do.
They're also
But
in the show notes.
they're also in the show notes. And if Meg's on here, which I don't think she is, she usually throws that in there. But that's fine. Fintasticruising@gmail.com for anything that you want to tell us, share with us, email us. And then fintastictravel@gmail.com if you want to come on that cruise or any other cruise. I'd be happy to set you up. That's my commercial.
Okay. And just to say this, Mallory said that Antigua also had tons of tiny pineapples, which was really bizarre.
Tiny pineapples. How tiny is tiny? Is it like
Right?
this tiny?
Like golf balls or...
Baseballs?
And did they taste the same? Because that would be cute. Little baby pineapples.
I would, yeah.
Yeah,
Just eat it like an apple.
who knows?
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay, let's get into our main topic, which is basically we're gonna give Ashley a huge quiz about cruising.
Okay.
That's not true. No, no.
Golf ball size.
Oh, golf. That's cute, right?
Itty bitty ones.
Like, yeah. You could have a whole pineapple in your drink.
Good. Slice
Okay.
it in half.
Yeah.
Like stick it on the glass.
Nice. Like the
Like a
lime
garnish.
thing.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
garnish.
Garnish with an entire pineapple.
That would
That's
be
interesting.
awesome.
Did you
That's fun.
eat any of those pineapples, Mallory? I'm curious if they tasted the same. So they were for sale at the market. So.
Cool.
Dwarf pineapples. Who knew?
Interesting.
All right. So let's start this. Ashley,
Yes.
let's talk about cruising.
Yay!
So you've been on cruises
Twice.
twice. Okay, so
Twice.
tell me about your first one.
First one, I actually went on with Kimbra, my first cruise. So she got me into cruising. It was amazing. We went on a short one.
Do you remember what ship it was on? Cruise line?
The Liberty.
It
Carnival
was.
Liberty.
Yep, the Carnival Liberty.
Liberty.
It was 4 nights.
4 nights. We did a short one because I wasn't sure if I could handle it because I get motion sickness really easily.
Yeah. So you were concerned about that. Was that a problem?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. What did you do?
I got those little patches that go behind your ear,
Mhm.
which literally, like, I had no motion sickness at all, and I get really bad
So
motion sickness.
you did like the whole thing though, because we do Universal as well. And
Yes.
You know the rides. So you do the bracelets.
Yes, the bracelets. I have like essential oils that I put like behind my ears
You
and
do
on my
the
wrists.
Dramamine.
The Dramamine.
So you just
You're like
did the
covered.
whole
I
thing.
cover everything bases because I do not like feeling
Don't,
like that.
don't know which one works the best, but if you do them all,
It
one of
works.
them will work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
So 4 nights on the Carnival Liberty.
Yes.
Where did we go?
I know it was Princess K.
Uh-huh.
And where was the other one? Nassau. Yeah, Nassau.
What year was that? Do you remember what year that was? Because Amethyst says her first cruise was on the Liberty back in September of 2018.
It was January of 2019.
Okay.
So a year later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And what did we do? So we had a sea day first or on the way back. Do you remember?
I don't. It's been so long.
Yeah. I think it was on the way back. So I think
I
we
think
went
it
to
was on the way back.
Princess K first.
Yep.
What did we do there?
Princess K, we went on the beach. I tried snorkeling. I didn't do very well. You went snorkeling.
I did. Yeah.
So I laid on the beach and drank. It was fun.
Yeah. But it was because it was in January.
It was a little chilly.
It was kind of chilly,
It was
right?
a little
So-
chilly. I mean, if you were just sitting out in the sun, it was fine.
Yeah.
The water was
But-
kind of cold.
So our lesson learned was probably don't cruise to the Bahamas in January.
Yeah.
This is the cruise that you have talked about before.
I have.
Where it was the cold cruise.
It was the cold cruise. I mean, it wasn't
It wasn't
unbearable,
terrible. No.
Yeah.
but next time I
It was
cruise,
unexpected.
if I cruise in January again, it will be further south.
Yes.
That's the lesson that I learned.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, contrary to common belief, it does get chilly in Florida, and the Bahamas are pretty much
Not
the
very far.
same. Yeah, they're just kind of across the water from Florida, so it's potentially going to be a little chilly
Yeah.
at certain times of year. I mean, it was cold in Florida last week. It was like in the 40s
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now if you are just watching, you weren't in here before we started the podcast, you may notice that there's snow behind us, and that's because we're in Indiana right now. And it's
30 degrees.
30 degrees. When we arrived in
warmer.
Indiana yesterday morning, it was 3. So it was like 30 without the 0. It was-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we left 73
Or
and
did
then
you
left
just
in
switch
3.
switch the 3 and the 0
That's-
around?
Yes, you could do
Then
that.
the numbers are both still there. They're just in a different order.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that, what are you gonna do? Yeah, and all right, so let me ask you this though.
Mm.
You were concerned about motion sickness, which
Yes.
I think is something that a lot of new cruisers or potentially new cruisers are concerned about. You went on another cruise after
Yes.
that. Did you do as many precautions, or did you feel like I'm gonna be
No.
fine?
I
not
just
worried about
got the patches.
it? Okay.
And I had that the whole time except, so we went on a 7-day cruise, and we had 2 sea days. The second sea day, was it the second sea day? The second sea day, it was really, really rough waters.
Okay.
So the patches didn't work quite as well, but I ended up buying one of those Philip Stein motion bracelets.
Okay.
And that literally, like within an hour, my motion sick was gone.
Cool. Okay.
So I highly recommend those.
all right.
They're
So
kind of expensive, but it worked.
that's the thing. Like
Yeah. I mean, everybody's
Yes.
different, so
everybody's willing to spend a little money rather than
to not feel sick.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
But that was like a really rough sea day.
So that's a good litmus test for does this work? So if you are out there and you've not cruised or you're worried about that,
Mhm.
my mom's the same way. Like she's super sensitive to motion sickness.
Mhm.
She does the patch and she's been good. Rough days, maybe she does something else. Ginger.
Yeah,
something,
ginger stuff.
something
It's
else,
terrible.
Dramamine or Bonine if it's real bad.
Mhm.
But the problem with those is that usually if you feel sick and you take them,
You
it's
can't
too
get rid
it's
of it.
too late.
Yeah,
Whereas maybe the bracelet sounds like
yeah,
fixes
it helped
after
it.
that, and the ginger I know can help with that as well. So, but don't be worried about it. You're
Yeah.
going to be okay. Just be prepared. So
Mhm.
okay, all right, go ahead, continue.
All right. So we talked about Princess K.
Yes,
And then we went to Nassau.
Nassau.
What did we do in Nassau?
What did we do in Nassau? I don't remember Nassau.
So in Nassau,
What did we do?
we did an excursion with stingrays.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we went in the water with
basically
stingrays.
got right off of the ship
Yep.
onto a little boat, and they took us to an island. I don't remember what the island was, but they had a few different excursions going there. They had like a dolphin thing, they had the stingray thing, and they had like a beach area, and then like a restaurant and stuff.
Yes, I do remember. that.
So we did the stingray thing.
Yes, that was really cool.
It was cool, especially the water.
It was very cold.
Yeah, so
Very cold.
Tony's on here, so Kimbra looks like she's watching a tennis match. Looking back and forth. Yes, Balmoral Island. That is what it is, Amethyst. Thank you. She did the stingrays
I
there as
prefer
well.
Balmoral Island.
It was cool.
Yeah, so we did the stingrays thing. It was cool. When you first get into the water, though, it's kind of rocky. So
Yeah.
I recommend like some water shoes and stuff, which we did both have with us.
Get something with good
because-
bottoms.
Yes, with like good solid
resistant kind of.
bottoms because it's rocky and slippery and stuff. But what's really cool about that excursion compared to the other Stingray excursions that I've done before is they let us feed them.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, because I've been to Grand Cayman where I've done the Stingray City, and you don't necessarily get to feed them, although you get to hang out with them, which is really cool. But at this one, we did get to feed them. So we lined up, and they gave us fish 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I think it was
And
shrimp or something like that. It was something.
Yeah, and so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think we hung out on the beach
Yeah.
for the rest of the time.
We went to the
Got-
little
got-
shops and stuff and
Yeah.
looked around. But
But it was chilly there, so we didn't like hang out there too long.
no, we kind of just.
They had boats going back and forth kind of continuously back to the ship, so we jumped back on the boat.
Yeah, like if we're cold, let's go back.
Yeah, and then got back on the ship. Yeah.
I just want to say Kevin Counts is in our chat out here, and he said if you get overwhelmed by seasickness, remember that you can always go to the ship's infirmary and get a jab. I hear it works wonders, but it won't be free. I didn't know that. That was a thing. They can give you some sort of shot for motion sickness.
I didn't know that
apparently. And
either.
that's really good to know. If you're really in a pickle and you're feeling
Yeah.
like you look like a pickle, then maybe go to the infirmary and they might be able to sort you out or something like that. Good to
Okay.
know. Thank you,
That's
Kevin,
cool.
for giving us that bit of info. Ashley, I have a question. Were you gung-ho excited to cruise for the first time? Like, what
Yeah.
talked you into cruising?
I was I think a little nervous just because I am terrified of water.
Okay.
And just kind of not knowing what's underneath.
Mhm.
But like Kimbra just kind of convinced me to go on one with her, and we did a short one to just kind of like get me into the feel of it, and I absolutely loved it.
So she was your enabler.
She was my enabler.
Okay.
Well, so here's the thing: is when I first moved down here,
We're not down in
Down there.
Oh. When I first moved down to Florida, I immediately got an annual pass for Universal because I love Harry Potter. And hopefully most of our listeners and watchers already know that. But if you don't, I love Harry Potter. So Universal was like the thing that I wanted to do. Well, at the time, Universal did something every year at the end of January called Celebration of Harry Potter. And that was like our thing. Ashley came down every year at the end of January and we did Celebration. Well, 2019, they decided not to do it.
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay, well, Ashley has to come down at the end of January because that's how it works.
Yeah. That's
What
like
are we
every year.
going to do? So I said, how about we do a cruise?
And we did.
It wasn't hard to convince her.
Yeah, I mean-
You were actually, what were you down for? You were down for something. Was it when I moved into the shoebox?
Oh yeah, I helped you move.
Yeah. She came down and helped me move. And she texted her husband, Josh, who is actually across the table
Yeah.
watching us creepily. No, I'm just kidding. She texted him and said, can I go on a cruise with Kimbra? And he was like, sure. So
So I did.
we booked a cruise.
Yep. we did.
So that was cool.
It was fun.
Okay.
It was really fun.
Brian's also chiming in. He says, for seasickness patches / wristbands, please do not buy on Amazon. There are many reports of counterfeits on there. Go to a local pharmacy or purchase from a reputable retail agent. You might be able to sort out a reputable one on Amazon, but
Yeah.
that's good advice. Be careful of what you get on like online stores because the last thing you want to do is get a counterfeit of something like that
And
then
not work.
right then.
Yeah.
Be terrible.
No, it's like real bad.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool.
Yeah. So after that cruise, of course, you were nervous going into it. It was kind of chilly. But what were your final thoughts?
I need to book another one right away. It was a lot of fun, and just to be able to, even just being on the boat was fun. They had literally so much to
It's
do.
a ship.
The ship was a lot of fun, and it's always something to do. Like, even if like you just want to lay out in the sun, you could do that. You can watch shows. Literally, there's something for everybody.
And I think that's an important point too, because like last night you were over hanging out and your other friend Courtney was over here hanging out and she's trying to convince her boyfriend to go on a cruise, right? And he's a little apprehensive. And I get it. I was a little apprehensive about cruising. It's a common story in the cruise community of men that didn't want to cruise, and the ladies talk them into it, and then we love it. But and there's some where it's the other way around, but mostly it seems like it's men that are like, I don't want to get stuck on that ship for 7 days. But there is so much to do on a cruise. There are occasionally people who don't like to cruise, but they're definitely the outliers, the exceptions. Because there's something for everybody, really, and it just lifts so much stress out of a normal vacation, typically. Yeah. That I think that's a big part of it too.
You don't have to plan anything.
Right. You don't have to make all those decisions that you don't necessarily think about that, but you go someplace and you got to figure out where you're going to eat breakfast, where you're going to eat lunch, where you're going to eat dinner, what are we going to do today, what are we going to do tomorrow, and a lot of those there's still choices, but a lot of those choices are limited, which is actually a good thing. Sometimes too many choices is not a good thing, especially for certain couples. And so that can actually be a big benefit of cruising.
All right, so you've been on 2 cruises, which means blah 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 means.
Yeah.
You booked another cruise.
I did book another cruise.
Okay, so tell me about it.
So the other one I booked with my husband, which is hiding behind the camera. That was a 7-day. That was on the Miracle, which is actually the same cruise that the group cruise is going on.
Well, it's the same type of ship.
It's the same type of ship. It's not the same ship.
But it's the same port.
Same ports.
Same class, same ports, yes.
So, and those were really fun.
So, do you remember what you did in those ports?
For the most part. What was the first one? The first one that we went on, Grand Cayman. We did the turtle excursion there.
Turtle farm?
The turtle farm. So we took pretty much a bus over to the turtle farm. We actually met some pretty cool people on that ship as well that we're still friends with. And we just kind of we didn't really do any of the snorkeling because that's included with it. We didn't do that because I can't snorkel. I'm terrible. And we just walked around, got to actually touch the turtles and learn a little bit about them. So that was pretty cool.
So you really liked the turtle farm?
I did. I mean, it's not for everybody.
That's my point of saying that.
I like it.
Because I've been to the turtle farm and I didn't necessarily like the way that it was presented to me. Now that could have been our guide. That could have been because I work at the aquarium and I have a very specific idea about sea turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't like it because the guy was asking you if you would like him to kill a turtle and make it into jewelry.
Basically, right.
Did they kind of present
didn't do
it that
anything
way?
like that.
I think it was the guy who had
that's
didn't understand his customer. Now, to be fair, that turtle farm does do some good conservation work. And there is a little bit of controversy in how it does certain things, but overall, it has been a force of positivity for sea turtles, even though they are actually farming sea turtles for meat and products. But that is what saved many crocodilians in the world, and that is actually working for helping endangered sea turtle species. Some people don't like that, but the reality is that sometimes conservation, you got to make money to save things. And if you're educating people and doing it in the right way, which for the most part they are, I think it's good. They just got to know how to talk to them.
They just picked the wrong person to ask that question to, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was Grand Cayman.
That was, Then we did a little bit of shopping afterwards. They had all the shops right outside where the ship docked. So
right, because they've got that whole mall kind of area.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool just to walk around. And then the next one we went to was Mahogany Bay. That was in Roatan, right?
Roatan,
Yeah, that was our favorite.
Yeah.
We did the package to where we got to ride the little ski lift kind of thing over to the beach. And then we got one of the shaded chairs for both of us. Those included and snorkeling gear and a kayak. So we got the whole package deal. We went in the water, which was really nice because I'm terrified of the water because I'm afraid of the creatures that are in the water. So this one was really nice because it was actually blocked off. They had a net, I don't know if it was really netting, but it was something so big things can't get in. which I was in the water then. So that was really cool. And then we took the kayak over to like away from the beach where everybody was and down this like little like area, which we went to this little, it wasn't even like a beach. It was just like this little area with a bunch of shells, and obviously we couldn't take anything because most of the shells actually had living creatures in it at that point. But it was just cool to see like where a bunch of people weren't, like uninhabited areas. So that was really cool to see, just to kind of explore.
Did you get any problem with like mosquitoes or anything like that there? Okay, good.
I don't remember any mosquitoes or anything.
Because last episode we talked about sandflies, and one of the, I love Roatan a lot, but sandflies, I've had problems with sandflies here, and I was just curious if you had any issues. I think that's somewhat seasonal.
What time of year were you there? Because I didn't have issues with
Yeah,
them.
I don't know. I've been there 3 times, and we had a lot of issues once. We had no issues the first time, and then another time we had some issues, but not as many. But
So maybe it's seasonal.
I'm sure it is to some degree, and also just luck of the draw on where you're at. But the secluded beach made me wonder. So that's a good thing. That's a good
it
thing
was
that
in
you didn't have
September
issues with
too
that.
when we went.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was our favorite because there's so much to do
It's
and
beautiful.
it's really pretty there. Yeah.
Very cool.
So where will we go next?
Belize.
Belize was my least favorite.
Yeah. Belize is not there are cool things you can do in Belize, but of those 4 ports,
That was my least favorite. Yeah, because we didn't do an excursion or anything there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we just got, like, because it was a ferry that you had to get on a boat to get over to Belize.
right?
And we just went in the shops and it was just like bombarded.
Yeah.
So it's just, we just kind of walked around a little bit and got right back on the boat.
My advice to people is if you go to Belize, do an excursion or just stay on the ship. Unless you just want. I mean, it's kind of a typical cruise port, but it's a little more run down, I guess you would say. And there's a little more pressure than some of the other ones, and it just it's kind of dingy and just
people kept trying to braid my hair and I'm just like, no, we're good.
But the thing is, it is a tender port or a crew or a what do they call it?
Water
shuttle port. That's what Carnival calls it now. The euphemism for tender. But and it's a long trip. Like it's kind of a long ride over
it's like
to
a 15,
Belize.
20 minute ride.
And that's kind of like underwhelming when you get over there just to have people annoy you with trying to braid your hair. They do it to me all the time. It's like, go away. But really, the best thing you can do is book an excursion. There's some really cool, like you've done cave tubing there.
Yep.
You can do Mayan ruins there. I've done a river cruise there, which was kind of cool. But my favorite ones I've done is when you actually get on like a boat that comes to pick you up from the ship itself, so you don't have to tender over to Belize. And then they take you out to these little islands that are like in the middle of the water, and you get to snorkel around and then just hang out on this beach and drink cocktails. And it's just like super cool. Yeah. It's just this little beach. Like one of them I was at, you couldn't even see land around it. It was just like this little atoll kind of thing. And then the other one, you could see land, but it was still like you would, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Stacy says, I agree. Belize do an excursion. Yeah. Or just make it one of those days when you hang out on the ship and everybody's off the ship and you get
nice, relaxing.
That's always a good option too, especially if you have a lot of ports and stuff. It's a good way to
a rest day, reset day.
Sometimes you get better deals in the spa if you want to do a spa thing. It makes it only a little bit overpriced, so things like that.
Yep. And then our last one was Cozumel, right? Yeah, Cozumel. I liked Cozumel. The shop's really nice. We didn't leave the port, so we didn't do an excursion to that one either. But we really liked the shopping in the area. The restaurant that we went to was really good. I don't remember what it was.
Right off the port.
It was right off the port, like right when you walk off. It was to the right there. If anybody remembers what that is.
Well, there's
Senior Frogs.
Was it? Or it was Senior Frogs. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's 3 ports in Cozumel that you could end up at. With Carnival, you're most likely to end up at the one that you were probably at. There's a Senior Frogs right there.
Yep.
There's another one that is almost identical to that one. That's just a little bit down from that. And then there's another one that's like in downtown Cozumel that you'll end up on if you're usually with other cruise lines.
Okay.
That's my least favorite of them, although it's kind of neat that it's in the downtown, so to speak, district. But yeah, the cruise ports themselves are big, and they kind of have they still have the normal shops, Joe,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
single
every
port,
port,
but
yeah.
they have their own sort of flavor, and like you're in Cozumel, like,
Yeah.
and there's some cool stuff there.
Yeah.
But there's so much in
Cozumel is one of my favorite ports. I've been
It's a
there
great port.
4 times, and I can't wait to go back because there's so many things I haven't done. Every time I've been there, I've done something different.
I haven't, but I've been there so much. I've still done a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a cool port.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So all the ports you've been to, then those 4,
Mm-hmm.
and Nassau was that? You said Nassau was
Nassau and Princess Cay.
and Princess Cay.
So 6 ports you've been to.
Yes.
What would be your favorite of those?
I think still Roatan.
Roatan,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, Honey Bay.
I would probably rank that of those ports. I haven't been to Princess Cay, but I would rank that as my top. What would you rank?
I don't know. I like that 7-night cruise that you did. Like all of those ports, probably minus Belize, are like
They're all good.
like they're great ports. I don't know. I maybe say either Grand Cayman or Cozumel.
Oh, right. I forgot about Grand Cayman.
Yeah.
But
Great Cayman was nice too.
yeah, man. Those are just good ports.
Yeah,
Those are just really good
they're
ports.
just great ports. Like
We should do a group cruise to those ports.
Matt, that is a genius idea. Wow.
And I'm going to change your mind a little bit about Belize when we do that, because we're going to do something fun in Belize, and it's going to give you a different
Okay.
input. The port itself is still going to suck. But
I mean, I enjoyed cave tubing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
But it was of the things that I did on my cruise that I went to those ports, it was my least favorite. So
Yeah.
I still loved it.
Mhm.
And it was actually kind of cool to take because it was a really long bus ride. So I really feel like we were able to experience kind of what Belize is, to kind
What
of
it
see like
looks
some of
like.
those real houses and then some of the kind of put together houses.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting to kind of see that compared to what I'm used to seeing
Mhm.
here.
When I did the river cruise in Belize, like we were going up the river, and I was hoping to see crocodiles, which we didn't get to see.
Yeah.
We did see manatee, and we saw some different tropical birds. We saw monkeys. But one of the interesting things that the guide was pointing out is that there's a lot of expats that live in Belize, apparently, and there's a lot of variety in how much money people make. But apparently, the people kind of intermix regardless of that. So the point that they were trying to make was that you'd have like a shack, which we would see a shack, and then a fairly nice house, and that those people would be like, they would be socially interacting together regularly. Yeah, and it seemed like, which is different. The impression I got from the port in Belize is like big razor wire and stuff. You're like, I ain't stepping foot outside this place.
Right.
But the impression I got from the river cruise is that is not the case in most of Belize. I think it's just that. I don't know. Or maybe it's just sometimes I've been to ports and they looked really shady, and then they get outside and I'm like, this is fun. Like,
Yeah.
like when we went to Dominican Republic, what's the other port we went to in Dominican Republic where we did the monkey thing there? Or did the monkey thing there?
We did
Not Amber Cove, but the other one. I can't think of the name of it. But the first time I went there, it looked like a hole. I was like, this is
La Romana.
La Romana. And then when we went there, and the first time I went there, I went scuba diving right off of we got on a boat in front of the ship and went scuba diving. So I didn't really see the port except for inside the port itself. But this time when we drove out of it, it was like resorts and kind of nice.
Yeah.
So sometimes those things can be misleading
Yeah.
too. I don't know what Belize is like right outside the port because I've only gone on boats from there. So.
Oh, okay. It's interesting.
Yes, Amethysts. Thank you, La Romana.
Yep.
Monkeyland is actually in Amber Cove and La Romana. There's two different
because we did
Monkeylands.
Monkeyland in La Romana, and then we did Ocean World in Amber Cove.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can do it from either one. I
Yeah.
think they're different facilities, but they're the same. I don't know if they're the same company, but I think they both are called Monkeyland. I don't know, but it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yep.
Basically. Cool.
Okay, so we went through that cruise. We know your favorite port. Would you cruise again?
Well, absolutely. We've tried. It got
Is there
canceled.
snow outside?
Anywhere from here.
So hopefully things will get better and you'll be able to jump on another cruise
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like maybe the group cruise in 2023.
Right?
Yeah.
Suddenly, Kimbra is a high pressure salesperson.
That never changed.
Yeah.
Well, should we jump into the creature?
Let's do it. Slowly, once I find it.
Okay, so echo. So we asked Ashley if she had a cruise creature that she wanted us to cover, and you did. You came up with one that we were shocked that we hadn't actually covered yet, and that was
An octopus.
an octopus. Now we did cover the blue ring octopus, but that's not one that you're likely to encounter on a cruise, and so not one that we really would focus on. But the one that we would see, and then I have seen and you have seen in several ports, is the common octopus, which that sounds like it's such an, I don't know, it's like, oh, it's the common octopus, but there's nothing common about this animal. It is a really cool creature, and probably my favorite creature that I have seen on cruises would be the octopus. Like, I don't know, maybe even more than the whale sharks.
Wow.
I don't know. Reef shark, I don't know, but it's up there. It's really high up there. And these are not easy animals to find, but they are probably an animal that most of you, if you've been in the water in the Caribbean, probably swam by one and didn't even know it, because they are the masters of camouflage.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, the last time that we saw an octopus, we actually saw 2 octopuses and didn't realize it.
Had no idea.
Until we were editing the video, and we were like, huh, that's how that octopus got over there so fast. It didn't. There was another one, and which is not normally, they're not social animals. So there was maybe some love in the air or something. I don't know what was happening there. But I will tell you that if you are snorkeling and you're interested in seeing an octopus, the thing that I always look for is you want to look for some empty, like, snail shells, and they'll usually be 2, 3, 4 of them, and they'll be kind of piled up around some sort of little opening. If you see that, there's a good chance that an octopus is living there or has lived there, and it's a good place to, like, stop and take some extra time to investigate, because that's going to be your best chances of actually seeing an octopus. So, but here's what I want to do.
I'm gonna talk to Ashley about what she knows about octopuses.
You put her on the spot.
You were gonna put me on the spot.
I wasn't. And you just deflected that.
You did.
I wasn't going to do that. To you,
Okay.
I mean, I can do what I can.
Go for it. What you got, Matt?
What?
What you got? What were you gonna say?
Oh, well, I was gonna say, do you want to tell us what you know about the octopus, and then we can kind of add on to that.
Okay.
Or
So we'll start with the most obvious. Octopuses have 8 arms,
That's right.
not tentacles.
That's a little bit persnickety, but yeah, scientifically speaking, we use the common vernacular of arms to describe octopus appendages instead of tentacles. Just because a tentacle.
Because squids have tentacles
2,
in addition to
if they're
arms.
boys. No, they always have 2 tentacles. So what's the difference between an arm and a tentacle to a sciencey person?
An arm is useful and a tentacle is a floopy.
That's not really the definition I would use. Because tentacles are useful. But think about a squid. Squid have 8 arms and they can grab onto something and hold on to it. The tentacles are kind of floopy, but they can move them, but they don't have as much muscle control. And so tentacles can mean different things. They can be kind of arm-looking things like on a squid, but they can also be these wavy things in the back of a sea slug, or even the eye stalks are sometimes considered tentacles. So they just don't have as much muscular control.
So basically what I said.
Yes, exactly what you said. If you say an octopus has tentacles, everybody's going to know what you mean. But scientifically speaking, we just use arms instead because it's more specific, and so it's more descriptive.
Did you know what I meant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
What else you got?
They have 3 hearts.
Yep, one more than Doctor Who,
Okay.
because he only has 2 hearts.
All right.
Somebody out there got that joke.
I mean, we haven't watched Doctor Who,
That's true.
so I can't comment.
All right, what else? Oh, well, do you know anything about those 3 hearts? It is February. This is a good animal for February because, I mean, you can really spread the love with 3 hearts, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's so that they can love everyone. I don't know why they have 3 hearts.
So they have 2 hearts, which are called brachial hearts, and those are attached at the top of their gills, and those are going to pump their blood through their system. And then they have a main systemic heart that does most of the circulation of blood through their body. So it takes 3 for them. And speaking of blood, Kimbra.
They have blue blood.
That's right.
Yes.
Live long and prosper.
That's right.
They have blue blood because their blood is not iron-based like human blood, like mammal blood, and really like I think all vertebrate blood. I don't know, but definitely human blood is iron-based. So if you put iron out in the rain, it gets rusty. It turns kind of an orangish red. Their blood is not iron-based. It is
Copper.
There you go. And if you put copper out in the elements, it turns a bluish green color, and that is the color of squid and octopus blood.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. We actually, well, you teach it all the time, squid dissection, but I actually got to participate in the squid dissection last week. So I learned more about the insides of, I know squids and octopuses are not the exact same thing, but they are extremely similar.
Yeah, in many ways.
Yeah. So I learned kind of a lot that I didn't know about the inside working.
Out. Well, what else do you know about the octopus?
So the octopus has a beak.
Yes.
Which is a hard portion made of like keratin, like the top of your fingernails.
It's not keratin.
It's not keratin.
It's chitin.
Chitin.
So chitin is the stuff that like a shrimp exoskeleton or a cockroach exoskeleton. And I just made everybody who eats shrimp cringe a little bit. It's the same sort of hard materials. But it's not as hard as like bone or anything like that. So it's got some flex to it, but it's still for an octopus that's pretty tough stuff.
But the hardest part of their body is their lens in their eyeball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, an octopus has maybe a common octopus might have a lens about that big, and it's about the size of maybe a little bit bigger than a pea, and so it can theoretically travel through any opening that is bigger than that. So an octopus with a head the size of a softball could go through like a large bore straw like you might get for like a milkshake or something.
Wow.
I don't know that they would normally do something like that.
Yeah.
But they could definitely go through like a cracker crevice very easily. They just can't flex that big lens.
Wow. Okay.
You're doing really good.
Thank you.
What else do you know about the octopus?
Octopuses have chromatophores.
Ooh, and
Chromatophores are like they change their colors and stuff with those chromatophores.
yeah, change their colors, change their patterns, and
This one's Ashley's.
Texture.
there you go. See, we had a lesson last night on cephalopods, and she was obviously paying attention. She's getting gold stars right now. But yeah, so that's really cool. Like they can, like the ones that we saw when we were in Aruba, like there was a lot of like algae, kind of rough, raggedy algae, and they were on the rock with algae, and they just, I mean,
You barely see them.
you could look at them for 5 minutes and not know they were there, and then all of a sudden you see something like that, and you're like, what? So they're quite good at camouflage.
Yes.
Anything else?
Do they have feather gills too?
They do have feather gills.
So feather gills are really cool. Yeah, like when they're in the water, they look like feathers.
Yes, and out of the water they look like snout.
Yes.
But that's not normally where they would be. You know,
Yeah.
octopus aren't hanging out on land too much. There are some that go across, but yes, the feather gill. So do you remember why feather gills are advantageous?
No.
Okay. So gills basically serve the same function that our lungs do. They're getting oxygen out of the water instead of the air. And so if you have a feather gill, it's got all these little feathery bits to it, and that's increasing the surface area. So they're able to more efficiently get oxygen out of the water. So there you go, feather gills. Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't expect that fact to come out, so that's good.
That was my favorite part of the squid.
At some point, you're going to be asking me the questions. You're going to get to that level.
You think?
I think you're already there with birds, so.
Only some birds. Is there anything else that you know that I know that I can't think that I know?
I'm sure there is. Like for another sort of sad thing about the octopus.
Oh, they only live like 2 years.
Yeah.
So
They
short lifespan.
basically, they're really flipping smart, so they should live forever, but they don't. They go make some babies and they die.
They live fast, die young.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that's sad, but they're really cool.
Yes. They are very cool. Even the giant Pacific octopus
Mhm.
lives about like 1.5, 2 years. That's it. And we think, but we don't know because it's hard to find them in the first place.
Right.
Giant squid probably only live maybe 2 or 3 years, which is crazy because they start as plankton and they get to potentially 40 plus feet.
That is
And that's just
rapid.
not, they don't just get there and die, you know, like
Yeah.
so so they're going real fast and that's crazy.
that is
Bro,
crazy.
that sort of growth is insane.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else? That's a lot.
Do you have anything else?
I don't think
Do you have
so.
any questions about octopuses?
I mean, you kind of covered a lot. So.
It's like you just talked about octopuses for like 10 minutes. You think, no, I kind of regret even bringing them up.
No.
Yeah.
That was very
Josh, do you
informative.
have any octopus
I
questions?
do not.
Yep, yep. All right.
Cool. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. We've had-
Anything else that you want to add or talk about or share?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me be on the show.
Thank you for coming on. It's
So I
fun.
know, Josh, you're in the background. Do you like cruising?
I do.
All right.
See, there you
You're
go.
welcome.
Were you hesitant to cruise?
I was not that. That was my second cruise I went on with Ashley.
Okay, so that
I
wasn't.
went on one in late 90s.
Yeah.
Oh.
Carnival
Okay.
Ecstasy.
Okay, so did you feel like it changed a lot in that
It
time?
has.
It has changed, yeah.
What it was then to what it is now, it has changed.
It's
a lot.
transformed a little bit for the better, for the worse, or just kind of it's a give or take a little bit.
I can't really judge that because the first one I went on was out of Miami, so that was Key West, and I did go
Okay.
to Cozumel back then. So Cozumel, I don't remember much when I was young, but
That can influence it too. If
Yeah.
you were younger, like really young when you went. In my
I didn't go on the
experience.
port. We actually did an
You
excursion.
didn't get
when
like
I
the
was
drink
younger.
package when you were.
No, but I was 15 at the time, and I could drink in Cozumel.
Oh, that okay.
So we did drink. My brother had me drink the water there because I wanted to see if that was a thing. I
Did you get-
sick? Yes.
You got Montezuma's revenge.
So that I don't recommend that. I
You
don't
got
know if
the-
that's changed, but
You got the full experience. Yeah, I would say probably don't drink the water. Still,
I didn't believe it. I was like, I'll do it. I'm 15. I don't care. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's just end by saying, first of all, congratulations to Josh and Michelle from Adventures Ahead.
Yes.
So they just got married. What, yesterday?
Friday.
Friday? It wasn't yesterday.
That was 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
And and next weekend is the Helping Hands for Cruising charity. It's going to be more than 24 hours. It's going to start Friday evening Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
And there's going to be channels going 24 hours,
It's 48 hours.
48 hours until Sunday at 6 p.m.
Yep.
And we will be on Saturday at
12 Eastern.
12 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be on for an hour, but check out some of the other channels. If you're not familiar, Helping Hands for Cruising is basically a charity where we try and raise money to get people to cruise that wouldn't otherwise have the means or be able to cruise. So it's a cool cause, and it'll be just a fun live stream.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's wrap it up.
All right. On that note, it's time to head for the horizon, and until next time, seize the day.
Have a fantastic week, everybody.
Bye. We're back.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out during the craze. We're not going to stay too long because we do have family and friends and stuff. So, but thank you guys for tuning in again and seeing the snow.
Yes.
A lot of you guys already see the snow, and you're like, "Wait, that's the last thing we want to see is snow." But there it is.
A lot of it.
Yes, and thank you, Ashley, for joining us.
Mhm.
Stacy said you did great.
Well, thanks.
Kevin Cass says, Matt spoke about swimming with whale sharks. We have a chance to swim with whale sharks in La Paz, Mexico. What's it like? Should we do it? Spoiler alert. I think Matt will say yes. Yes. I will definitely say yes. And Kevin, I will actually see if you'll come on the podcast after that experience to talk about it, because I would love to compare how different it is from the Cancun experience. Cancun experience was, for me, it was wonderful, but it was also 3 hours there, 20 minutes in the water, 3 hours back, and it was a marathon swim to keep up with whale sharks. So I loved it, and I would do it again. But I feel like in Mexico and the other coast that it's a different, more laid back, closer experience. And I would really be interested to hear your take on that. But yes, no matter what, if you can swim with whale sharks, you need to do that, because until you're in the water with a 25 to 40 foot animal, you don't really understand what that's like. And I know, like, Ashley's like, nope. But I'm telling you, once you get past that initial shock, then it just becomes like this beautiful creature.
I mean, I do want to see a whale shark.
Yeah,
But
and you could see it, even like the one we did, you could have just stayed on the boat and saw them, because they were up at the surface feeding and stuff.
We need to
Super
get
cool.
Ashley to like a spring or something so she can like start for her snorkeling adventure.
Where it's like calm water,
Calm, clear,
just small fish.
small fish. Maybe the manatee thing.
Well, if it's, that was.
Well, like
yeah, that was
Silver
lucky.
Glen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but would you be in the water with a manatee?
oh, yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
those are gentle creatures. They can't eat me.
I have
Wow.
seen people though that see them for the first time in the water, and they're like, whoa, because they're big.
they're big.
Yeah.
And they look big when you see them when you're out of the water, but when you're in the water with them,
Yeah.
and a 8 foot manatee comes swimming at you, you're like, no,
Hi.
you really
Stay
are
away.
big. And they'll come. Well, the ones at Silver Glen will kind of keep their distance, and you have to keep your distance. But in Crystal River, they'll come up and they will like give you a hug. And,
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty cool. Though.
Yeah. I think
But that would
we need
be-
to get you down when it's not cold
Mm.
Yeah.
and get
no.
you into a spring to start snorkeling.
Then it's like snorkeling in a swimming pool. With
Basically.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
All right.
Try that.
Cool. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up so we can get on with our day. Again, hopefully we'll see you guys next weekend. And until then, have a good one.
Bye. Bye.